Hey everyone, just thought I'd catch up on everything. It's been a while since I made a video, so forgive me if I'm not doing a good job, not in the rhythm of things, but yeah, I've trying to just keep moving forward in life, kind of shifted priorities away from the YouTube channel, because real life has real priorities, and this is a hobby, so yeah, I haven't been stacking much of this stuff lately. Gold and silver has really been off the radar for me the majority of the time, the past little bit. Maybe buying some like 1/100th of an ounce Troy Gold bars from TD, stuff like that. Slowly adding to the stack, slowly being the main point there. So getting some collectibles, some fun stuff like that, but that's really in the not an investment. That's just hobby stuff, right? Gold, yeah, gold bars. That's kind of just keep setting some money off to the side. So long-term savings kind of thing. Although at the end of the day, gold is money, right? And you want to invest your money so you can make more money. And that is kind of where I see it differently than gold being an investment in itself. It's just long term savings. You only want so much, just like cash. Otherwise, it's just sitting there doing nothing, not being productive. And when you keep that mindset, you don't buy the highs. You just don't buy the highs because you think, how much do I really need? Is this really a good use of my long term savings? Am I better off just buying a bond right now? So it kind of helps you stay clear headed, stay focused. I've already have a decent stake in oil companies, oil shipping companies. They've gone up massively this year. Like, it's unreal how well the oil shares that I own have done. It's actually phenomenal. But I'm not going to buy more. It's probably going to go up a lot more, but there's always another opportunity. When they printed all that money and we had margin calls on gold and silver at the same time, buy gold and silver. It seemed pretty simple logic, right? Stocks didn't seem obviously cheap at the time. Then there was until oil, oil just crashed, and you stock up on oil companies. A couple of years later, we have the regional banking crisis. You start stocking up on banks. Buy as much bank shares as you possibly can, right? Then, I'm still not really sure what caused it, but 2023, 2024, we're getting a crash in oil shipping companies. So it's buying up a lot of oil shipping companies, and you can probably see the trend. Right now, I'm really not investing much into anything. Around Christmas time, like just before the New Year, I think it's the same day the government opened actually, after it was shut down in the States there. They, I, they just seem to have this looming terrible economic data from all the Doge cuts. So I trimmed back on some shares, sold off all my S&P 500, all the VOO, everything. Done. Looking back, I'm really glad I did. But things don't seem obviously cheap yet, and that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I see some issues with the private equity, like credit funds. When I'm looking at that, I'm waiting for bank people to freak out about like all the banks. I could see them going on sale. So I'm just kind of stacking some cash, waiting for the next opportunity, slowly putting small portions of my portfolio back, like of that cash that I've been saving into the market just to keep some kind of balance. But it's all small purchases. There's nothing big going on for me right now when it comes to the markets. I'm just kind of sticking to the course, keep putting money in the accounts every time I get paid. Don't let it hit the checking account. Automatically goes into the investing account, that kind of thing. But beyond that, that's really all my investing is. If oil shipping companies drop a lot, I've got a couple on a list that I'd definitely buy at the right price. But I'm really not banking on that. There's always going to be another opportunity. Trying to rush into whatever is going on today is probably not going to be the wise move long term. Like, for me, this is like 1/20th of an ounce of gold. That's half the gold I bought in the last year. So I've slowly accumulated 1/10 of an ounce of gold. That's like nothing. At least compared to what I used to stack. That's just to buy, just to keep some balance. As the income goes up and everything, you want to increase long-term savings. These different things that are going to be expected. And you want to be ready for it. You don't want to be surprised. So you just... Every step forward, you can only really move your lifestyle like a quarter of that step. Otherwise, you're never really going to get to where you want to go. That's kind of what I feel like today. That's also why I go to work and everyone's talking about how they won't be able to afford to retire. And I just have to stay silent. Because statistically, I'm pretty good. Pretty set. Like, I'm not wealthy or anything today, but mathematically... yeah, I'll be fine when it comes to retirement age. But that's not the same reality for most people. People, when I hear them talking about investing, it's almost like, okay, better sell this stock. There's now a few guys in the lunchroom talking about it, and everyone's getting more involved in investing. That's why I think there's a saying, the markets can stay irrational longer than you could stay solvent. I think that applies today more than ever. We don't even need a change in earnings or anything for devastation to hit. We just need to return back to historically normal multiples. I'm not trying to scare people away from investing when I say I've sold off all my S&P, I did this, I did that. All I'm saying is what I do. I'm not an investment advisor. You don't know my rate of returns. You don't know my life situation. You don't know anything about me, so I wouldn't just do exactly as I do. I have winners, I have losers in my portfolio. But with that being said, I do appreciate you following along my journey in life and seeing, at least the financial journey, and seeing how things play out. For me, I kind of did this channel just so I could look back at each decision, and it's a simpler way than writing everything down. But then I could go reference everything. That's also why I would recommend you to start a channel, even if you keep everything private. At least you have a clear-cut video to explain your thoughts as to why you're doing everything you're doing. And I feel like in these volatile times, just as it was right after during the pandemic there and everything, it's very good for me in my own investing journey. Just to have everything, all my thoughts available to reflect back on. But for me, the plan right now is I'm kind of foreseeing the banks getting caught up in a bit of a private equity crisis. And I think that they might get oversold because creditors and banks are the first thing you think of when you think creditors are having a lot of loans go bad. But the thing is about the banks, they got to report everything on all their balance sheets. They're a publicly traded company. They're held to a higher standard than those private equity firms, especially if you're looking at the Canadian banks. I'm just waiting for them to get oversold at this point. I'm going to be as patient as possible. There's other opportunities other than oil right now. Oil's already started to move. Once things start moving, I stay away. You got to buy and gradually position your portfolio so you already own oil when these shocks hit. When the economy starts when oil comes down and the economy starts booming, right? It might not start booming, but it's going to improve when oil comes down. That will happen eventually. Who knows the timeline? At least in my opinion, it's just bound to happen eventually. When things are unsustainable, they don't sustain. I see this as unsustainable. The economy should start to do better. More opportunity to take out loans if businesses struggle. Whatchamacallit. And some businesses go down, well, there's going to need to be rebuilding. People are going to need to fill that space. People will take out loans from banks in order to fill that space. That's why I'm kind of waiting. Seeing if I could scoop up some bank shares, well, whenever they get cheap. It's kind of the next opportunity that I foresee. Although it's not going to be the first or last time I've been wrong if I'm wrong. So take that as with a grain of salt. Like, it really shouldn't mean much to you. Thanks for watching. Stay positive. See you next time. Bye.